What is psychological safety and how can I put my hands on it? So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Patrick Stahl. I teach leadership and self-leadership. Now, psychological safety, everybody's talking about it, but how do you make it happen? Amy Edmondson coined the phrase, or she didn't really coin the phrase, but she popularized the phrase. And when Google made Project Aristotle, where they realized that the difference between regular teams and super high-performing teams was, among 4 other things, psychological safety. Suddenly everybody wanted it, but nobody really knew how. So, fast forward, and then early 2020, a book launch. Really bad timing. What were we focusing on in 2020? Well, it wasn't a book called The 4 Stages of Psychological Safety by Tim Clark. Dr. Tim Clark wrote the book, and it's really an instruction manual on how you get from something called inclusion safety all the way up to something lovely called challenger safety. That's what we need to talk about. So inclusion safety is how you make people feel included, feel safe and included in a team. Now this is such a strong human right. It's not something that you can say, that's nice to have. If you don't make people feel included, they will probably fake it. That's when you're sitting in the lunchroom for first day at the new job and you realize that someone cracks a really inappropriate joke. Maybe it's racist, maybe it's sexist, maybe it's just on the border, and you're sitting there going like, look, this doesn't feel right. And then you're saying, and you laugh a little bit because you don't want to risk your job. It's the first day at the new office, and you go like, this is not, but you don't do anything because you don't want to be excluded. That's how strong the will, the desire to be included is. Inclusion safety is when you greet someone who's new and you say, welcome here, it's so great that you have joined us. It makes me super happy. It's when you ask questions, where are you from? What have you done before? You make people feel included. Trust me, if you have diversity without inclusion, you have bullshit. You have nothing. If you have diversity and inclusion, then you can rock and roll. Then people can proceed to the next stage. They can feel included and they can feel safe enough to learn, to ask questions, to say, not sure how to log into this thing. And then people say, that's okay, you can do like this. If I'm afraid of asking that question, if I'm afraid of saying, I have some stuff to learn, I know my CV looked fantastic, but actually, I need to know more about your CRM system. Now, learner safety means that you feel safe to express your needs to learn. And other people can make it really easy by saying, hey, I remember my first day here. I didn't even know where the coffee machine was, and I pretended as if I did. And, if you have any question, regardless of how stupid, I've been here for 15 years, I still have questions, because there's always new stuff. So just, feel free to ask me. Make it easy for people to express that need, that desire, that yearning to learn. Because then they can proceed to actually contributing. Contributor safety means that I'm doing what I'm there to do. I'm contributing so that people can benefit from my knowledge. Contributor safety means that I can also say that, hey, actually, I noticed that you're doing this. I have a way to boost that is super simple. Can I share that? Now, if you don't have the courage to feel that yourself, then other people will have to help you. And if someone is new and someone's trying to contribute and you see that, you can call to that attention. Say, hey, you have experience of that, don't you? Could you just share what you would do? Or you can say, hey, I can contribute with something really weird and off tangent, but it's kind of cool. Someone else maybe can contribute with something, anything, anyone, Bueller, anyone. So, contributor safety means that you're actually rewarded for volunteering information, and you feel that you can contribute. You're there. You're doing what you're supposed to do. If you're there, step 1, 2, 3. Then you can take the step to the Holy Grail, and that's challenger safety. That's when you feel safe enough to challenge the opinion of the biggest cat in the room. Now, the definition of psychological safety is an environment of rewarded vulnerability. An environment of rewarded vulnerability. And if nothing else, that's it. I mean, when you're in a room and maybe you're the trainee and the CEO has just said, so this is how we're going to do it, and I think it's a fantastic idea because it was mine, and that's how we're doing this. If you feel safe enough to say, we tried that at my old work and it didn't really pan out, so we should do something different, or? Now, challenger safety, we will get there eventually. If we work together long enough, we will, rub each other the wrong way and have small conflicts and big conflicts and realize that we don't die from them and that we actually continue to work together. Eventually, we will get to challenger safety, to that fourth level. But in today's business, we don't have the luxury of time. We simply don't have that. We cannot say, welcome to the team. I hope that in 3-4 years you'll be able to challenge my opinions. But let's wait for that. So it's fragile. We have to always work on psychological safety to maintain inclusion safety, learner safety, contributor safety, and challenger safety. And that is hard work. And it requires all of us. It can't just be one. One person can carry some of that weight and, suggest that we do this. Suggest that we have a check-in exercise where we get to know each other a little bit more. But it's really a team effort. And that's all I wanted to share.